All right. So before we go into subject of the formula, I just want to do a couple of things. This is one technique that I use. This is one technique that I use to help make subject of the formula. Right? I think I did it. Someone already picked up which is done well. All right. So we can take a look at those. So before we jump into solving, I just want to review subject of the formula, right? Right. So let's say I gave you something like this. Let's say I gave you R is equal to 4. Let's use numbers, right? 4t squared minus 5 all over 3. And I want you to make t the subject of the formula. Right? Sometimes the little tricky thing is to figure out which one to move first. All right. So here, because you want to make t the subject, always leave it on the left hand side. Always make sure all the time, whatever you want to make the subject of the formula up here. If it underneath, flip it up and bring it. If it's on the right, bring it on the left. Okay? You don't have to change any signs. We just switching everything here on this side, everything here on this side. So you don't have any sign to change. Okay? Right. There are two ways we can approach this. The first way is to write R as this and then cross multiply. Okay? That's one technique. Right? But you all recognize the problems that we have, right? Which one to move first? The square, the 4, the 5, and 3. Right? You're moving the 3 first, right? So one technique, put the 1, cross multiply, and then solve. And next technique is this. If I were to put t as 1, let's say. If I put t as 1, what's the first thing you'll do with that 1? If you put 1 in here, what you'll do? What's the first thing you'll do? First thing you'll do is square it. After you square it, what you'll do? You'll multiply it by 4. After you do that, you will minus 5. And after you minus 5, you finish here. So you divide by 3. Okay? So how do you make the subject of the formula? All we have to do is do the reverse of this. First thing, instead of dividing, you multiply. Instead of minusing, you add. Instead of multiplying, we divide. And instead of squaring, you square root. Okay? If I do these 1, 2, 3, 4 things to R, T will be the subject. So watch this here. Right? I'm going to multiply by 3. Then I'm going to add 5. Then I'm going to divide by 4. Then I'm going to square root. Right? But this is a long way to do it. And you're only using this if you can't see what to move first. Okay? So that's method 1. Method 2 is this. Method 2, as I said, is that we turn it to method 2, turn it into 2 fractions equal sign. Obviously, 2 fractions equal sign, you can cross multiply. So you'll get 4t squared minus 5 by 1, 3 by r. So you have 4t squared minus 5 with 3r. Okay? And then we move it across the what? Move across the minus 5 first by adding 5 on both sides. Then we have 4t squared. Kind of across the 4. And we'll get 3r plus 5 over 4. Then get rid of the squared by square root in both sides. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, square root 4t squared, right?
Yeah, that could be an option. You square root 4t squared and you get 2t and you get the square root of this. And then you carry it over. Yeah, that could work as well. Okay, so one of the ways besides doing this is to try to get it looking like this. right? Without any fractions. And to get rid of the fractions, we could cross multiply or we can multiply every single term by 3. Right? Most of the times the hard ones have fractions in it. You want to get rid of the fractions. Okay? But again, if you can't see what to move first, you can use this technique. Okay? So we're going to do some subject at the formula, some hard ones, and then we're going to solve some hard ones. Both without words and with words. Okay? So copy down if you need to, and then we'll be going to topic by topic. And this method 1, method 2 here, right? Tell them comment, right? Huh? Yeah? Let's take it. So I'm going to give you some questions. Taking the top, right? So let's take a look at this first one here. We will talk it out first, of course. Hold on, eh? Where is subject at the formula start? Okay, starting here. Right, what's this here? So let's talk this one out. Let's push on. Hold on there online. Sorry. I can take them. Right, let's start here. Go ahead with the year and take it. 1979. But go ahead with that. 1979. Yeah. Copy it down and let's see if we can get some steps from online now. Let us start with Samira. Samira, what's the first thing you'll do here? What's the first thing you'll do here, Samira? You want to make P the subject of the formula. Cross multiply. Now we can't do that as yet. Why we can't cross multiply? And that big square root sign there, right? So the first thing you can do, right, before you remove this square root sign, the first thing you can do is get rid of the square root sign, right? Hold on, let me write that a little bit bigger. Right, please get in the habit of writing whatever you want to make the subject of the formula on the left hand side. Right, so the first thing you'll set is to remove this square root, right? How are you doing that? Square both sides, right? Square both sides, and you will end up with 4 plus 3p squared on s is equal to r squared. Right, now it should be easy. Try and finish up that for me. Right, try to make p the subject. Remember, if you're not sure what to move first, the 4, the 3, or the 5. Oh, sorry, S. That's an S on there. Try to figure out what to move next, the 4, the 3, or the S. That's kind of like the one I did on the board. Right? Why moving next in Bishish? Why moving next? 4 plus 3p squared on S. Huh? What we moving next? You want to make P the subject. S, so 5 over the S. Is that divided by S, so it becomes a what? Right? Or you could put it over 1 and cross multiply, right? Anyone you want, right? So you have 4 plus 3p squared is equal to SR squared. Right? What do we move next? What do we move next, Narissa? Narissa? What do we move next? Right, the 4, nice. So if you carry across the 4, it becomes minus 4. What's the next step? Samir, what's the next step? What are you moving next? You have 3p squared is equal to the right hand side there. Moving it 3, nice. So you divide both sides by 3, and you'll get p squared is equal to SR squared minus 4 and 3. What's the last step, David? Square root.
Square.
Square root, right? Yeah, square root. So P will be equal to the square root of S R squared minus 403. Okay? Nice. Copy it down. Let's go again. Piece together. Let's say nobody copy down. Let's get each other going. Take it phone. Then no, Jamal there is in that order. That order. I don't know. Take it going to put in the meantime. Okay. So that was an easy one. Let's go to 1984. 1984. This one here. 1984. This one a little bit hard. I'll leave it on your own. Express n in terms of m. So make n the subject of the formula. Take your time. I'll come on the board and do this one after, right? So a little bit harder. Take your time. Whenever you have n2 in more than one place, there's some way you're going to have to factorize. Okay? Try it. We're doing hard work today. Oh yeah, which is not on the front there. Huh? Take your time. And this one a little bit hard because you have two sets of n to deal with. So always try to bring your like terms together, right? Get rid of the fractions, bring your like terms together. Right? You get it? I think you get it. One. Right? Online, I know it's kind of hard for you to send the answer, but let's see what you did now. So before I get rid of the square root, I would have cross multiply. But I saw most people try to square right here. Nothing wrong with that. So if you square the left-hand side, and if you square the right-hand side, I want you to remember something. When you square here, that's m squared. Most people had that. When you square the square root, because the square root sign didn't come all the way down, when you square the square root, you end up with 1 minus n squared. But most people forget the square here as well. Right? That's okay? You also forgot the square underneath here. Now, if you want, you have two fractions, equal sign, we could cross multiply. So that'll give you m squared, n squared is 1 minus n squared. For those who moved across the n earlier, they would have reached right here. Right? Unless you square it back. Okay? You okay with that? When you reach here, when you reach here, Ethan. Like I forget the name. See? Ethan, what you will do? Before you do that, you have to bring the like terms together. Right? So bring all the n squares together. What's the next step? We want the n by itself, right? So what you'll do, Samir? You can't do it as yet. Before you do that, you can't add the squares yet. There's two different terms. I told you to do something when you bring the like terms together. What you have to do? You have to factorize, right? So when you bring the like terms together, you factor out the n squared, and you will get m squared plus 1. Correct? Equal to 1. Now, can I get rid of this? Right? This by itself, and it will have an n in it, right? So I'll get n squared is 1 over m squared plus 1. What's the last step? Square. That's okay? You okay with that? So two things we learned. When we square in a fraction, you have to square the top and the bottom in numerator and denominator. Okay? That's number one. And then always remember, bring like terms together. And these little things, right, it's in red here earlier, so you remember it. Right here, I want you to write this, especially people who get it wrong. Right? When you square a fraction, you square the numerator and the denominator. Here, bring like terms together. Here, factorize. Right? So that's three things I want you to write at the side of it. I want you to remember those things. Factorize, bring like terms together. And last thing, if you have a on b squared, that's the same as a squared and b squared. Okay? Three little things that you have to get into your brain. Just using these things all the time. Bring like terms together. If you have more than one, then you factorize and work it out, right? Hold on, I've got one. Try to connect to. that okay online? Bandana, you okay with this? Let's try two more and then we can switch this over, right? Again, we do like to work with fractions. So we try to get rid of the fractions by cross multiplying, or in some cases, you might have to multiply by a term, right? Kind of confused which part? I'll go it over. Which part you confused here? From factorizing. So when I reach here, right? They both had n squared in common. So I factor out n squared and I got m squared plus 1. This by this gives you this. This by this gives you this. When you reach here now, remember the question was to make n the subject of the formula, right? So I'm moving this across. This is multiplied. Multiplied across the equal sign becomes divide. So now I have n squared is equal to 1 on m squared plus 1. And then squared means square root. Carry the squared across and it becomes square root. You okay with that? Right? So we have to remember these two things here, right? Okay. So I'm going to give you the next one. I want you to try it, please. Number 89, June 89. X is equal to y minus 2 over y minus. X is equal to y minus 2 over y minus 3. Technically, you're using the same three principles I just told you. Get rid of the fraction. But I ain't saying anything. Right. Make y the subject of the formula, right? Take your time with this one, Bandana. According to how far you reach, take a pick and send to me on WhatsApp. I'll check it for you, right? Anybody can do that, eh? Alyssa, you as well if you want, right? Take a pick and send to me on WhatsApp. That's number 6 you're doing, right? You'll have a change them, right? Right. But it's not doing it. It's not do that. It's other stuff there and do some kind of thing. So, okay, okay. Yeah. But things that like to forget. All right, online. How you send any answer to me? Let me see if anybody send any pics. Alyssa sent something. Alyssa looking real good, Alyssa. Very good, Alyssa. Correct. Good job, Alyssa. Anybody else send anything? Get back some. Narissa, good job, Narissa. Right, and I don't know if you all remember this. We did the same thing when we did function, the hard ones. Right, it's same thing. Right, so watch this here. Same problem. Two fractions equal sign cross multiply. So I'll get x multiplied by y minus 3. Don't skip this step out earlier. Write it out. 1 multiplied by y minus 2. This will give you xy minus 3x. This will give you y minus 2. Right? Then when you reach here, bring the y's together. There's no y in this term, but there's a y here, right? So I can move across the y, I'll get minus y. Move across the minus 3x, minus 2 staying here, right? Move across the minus 3x, it becomes plus 3x. That's okay? So I'm following this rule here. I bring the like terms together, so I bring the y's together and I bring the x's here. I am not interested in making x the subject. I am interested in making y the subject. So everything with y here, everything without y here. So I move across minus and I get it. That's okay? Finish. Next step is what? Next step is to make y the subject of the formula. So that'll be x minus 1 is equal to minus 2 plus 3x. So I factor out the y here, right? And lastly, I made y the subject by moving across the x minus 1. Right? I divide by x minus 1 on both sides, or I just carry across multiplied, it becomes divided. So I'll get minus 2 plus 3x over x minus 2. That's okay? Yeah. If you had 2 minus 3x, 1 minus x, that's okay. Once if all your signs different to mine, then it's two. All the signs must be opposite. That happens sometimes according to which one you wrote. If you wrote this here and this here, that's happened. Bandana, you got through this one. Good job, Alison. Narissa, Samira. Bandina, you okay, right? Okay, let's go again. Let's do one more and then start some solving, right? So when I'm gonna be doing some hard ones, once you can handle these, you're good to go for exams, right? One more. Right, I'm picking the hardest one, so use all your skills. Not hard. If this one is not mistake. The square, we should have stuck our time. I like 1996. That was a good year. Let's try 1996. Take your time, huh? This one is bit trickier than all the others. If you don't like the fraction, get rid of the fraction. How do you get rid of fractions again? Cross multiply or multiply by the denominator, all the values, right? Okay, so those are two options. Online, try and message the answer for this one. If you do it properly, the answer really easy. You see, here. Yeah, so easy. The message. Make S the subject. Sorry, make S the subject of the formula. Take your time. And we're going into solving after this. Take your time, right? The answer is not a simple answer. Online, you have to message your answer. Or you can send on WhatsApp if you want. But you can message your answer. Can you do this one just now? And message your answer online. Okay? Should get number 3 line. 4 line. 3. Yeah. Come on again. Come on again. Draw. Again. Oh, what's any one thing in between? Yes. Yeah, that's it. What's the matter? Good. Good. Get this one? Copy. No? So, how you would get rid of the fraction then? P over S, Q over S. What you would do to get rid of the fraction? Multiply it by what? No, you can't cross multiply because you do have 2 terms. Correct, Mandina? You do have 2 terms there. You see, if you had 1 term here and 1 term here, you can cross multiply. But there's a 3rd term on the outside there. So you can't cross multiply, but you can do something else. You can multiply every single term by S. Right? If you multiply here by S, here by S, here by S. What will happen? The S's will cancel, S's will cancel. And you'll get RS here. What's the next step? What's the next step? Carry the Q across. And then what? And then divide by R. Right? So you'll get S is equal to P minus Q over R. All get that? No? I'm going to see all the rats. I'll be all moving around.
That's the end. Oh no, see this here. That's what I think I will. So just fraction separate but we'll take it to right. This
What you see over there? I like what somebody did as well. Right? Watch this here. So it's P over S is equal to Q over S plus R. Right? I really like this one. Watch this here. What she did was this. She divided this whole thing by 1. Now you have 2 fractions separated by equal sign. So we can cross multiply here. Right? See now? She took this whole thing and put it over 1. And now she go down and multiply. There's a fraction, eh? 2 fractions equal signs. So she go down and multiply this by 1 and this by S. Remember, S by every single thing, right? So that'll be S by S, that'll cancel. S by R. Right? Move across Q. and then divide by s. No, wait. Why are you making this subject again? S is subject, oh, sorry. Divide by R. So S is equal to P minus Q over R. That's okay? So this was a brilliant method as well. See the beauty of maths, right? You have more than one method that you can use to work this out. Right? But I like this so I get to use the fraction as well. Now, let's see if that helps you in solving now. Let's see if that helps you in solving. Still have more. This, I think this is any group as well, right? Or look at practice them out. Right? When I'm doing questions on TikTok, I might use most of these. Right? Or look at watch them and pause the video and do it. Right. So you want to practice through solving here. Yes, they're looking easy, but they should look easy after you do those hard ones there, right? Let's try 19 again. 2002, that's number 4 and number 6. Number 4 and number 6. Remember, whenever you solve, what you're really doing, Fishish? Whenever you solve, what you're really doing? Whenever you solve a question or solve an equation, what you really doing? Come on. I did good. I see the phone. I could not. Yeah. If I in fact you're making actually subject and the formula, right? So technically you're doing that here again. Okay? Do you think? Try number 4 and number 6. Actually try 4, 5, and 6. Try 4, 5, and 6. Online, this one's simpler. You can message your answer. And some people not messaging us, Samira. Message your answer. Arissa, you too. This one easier to message, right? So you can send me the value. Or remember the construction and transformation, something. Yeah, remember we did all that, right? Construction and transformation. Did I? That's good. You guys remember doing that yet? Construction and transformation. Huh? Like we did a compass and joy. 4, 5, and 6, huh? 4, 5, and 6. Pick it out. 4, 5, and 6. Solve each one of them.
bad word. Wait, that table, can I show you the table? Like,
Observe expected and do a table here and out.
well, it was what it was. But a color, then you have observe expected. Observe minus expected. All in one thing, you know. Yeah. Get the right scheme, right, to check for the answer.
Right, let's go with number one line. Send some answers to number 4, please. What shall we got for number 4? What shall we get? X is what? How much you get? 9/4. Let's see. So the first thing I will do here, 2x minus 1 is equal to 5/2. Since you're like fractions and cross multiplying, let's cross multiply. 2 by 2 is 4, by x minus 1, 1 by 5 is 5. And then you'll get 4x minus 4 is equal to 5. 4x is equal to 5 plus 4, which is 9. 4x is equal to, sorry, divide both sides by 4. X is equal to 9/4. Okay, that's one method. Next method is cross multiply and then multiply everything with 2. Expand the brackets, then multiply everything with 2. Number 5 should have been easy, just to multiply it out. So number 5 will be 5x minus 3x. Please remember this, right? Minus 3 by minus 1 is what? Plus 3. Okay? Is equal to 39. When you reach there, bring your like terms together. So you will have 5x minus 3x. 39 minus 3. This is 2x is equal to 36. Divide by 2. X is 18. Anybody get up? Yeah? Nice. Bandina. Check box number 5 there, right? Everybody okay with that? And I'll do the last one just now. Well, what's the problem with number 6? Avi? What's the problem with number 6? Okay, how you would go about solving number 6? Find it, so simplify the fraction on the left. Okay, all right. So you can find the LCM and then work it out. Good. Any other option? Any other option, Keaton? Okay, that is next then. And we try something different. Samir, anything different? Jamal? Anything different? What you did? For 6 here. One time or after? One time. What you do that? But you have a 1 on the next side. So I feel fine the LCM. Brilliant. I can't work it out that now. What answer you all got in the end? Do you think how much you get? Huh? Didn't forget that one on the end. This one is 3 underneath. So what you do first multiply? 2 fractions. Enough. We'll sign in the middle. We have in the middle. Right. So I will do what you all said, but our next option is to multiply every single term by a product of the denominator. So you can multiply everything by 6. That's the same thing that you all did. Anyway, so you have p minus 1 on 2, p minus 2 on 3 and 1. I cannot cross multiply because I have 2 terms on the left hand side. Right? And then the equal sign and a 1, right? So I cannot cross multiply as yet. So I can find the LCM here. 2 by 3 is 6. 3 by p minus 1 minus 2 by p minus 2 is 1. Now I can cross multiply because I have 2 fractions and an equal sign. Okay? So I'll get 3p minus 3 minus 2p plus 4. 1 by 6 is 6. Bring the like terms together. 3p minus 2p is equal to 6 plus 3 minus 4, right? So I'll move across the 3 and the 4. So I'll get p is equal to 9 minus 4, which is 5. Answer is 5. That's okay? Right? So you simplify the left side and then work it out. Let's go again. Right, good job, Narisa. You're recognizing the reason here, they're giving you worded problems, right? So I'm going to give you a worded problem now. So you have to follow what I can do that, right? Technically, all it is work out numerator. So you have to get denominator on it. So as I said, the next option would have been take the product of all the denominators and multiply every single term, right? If you multiply every single term by 6, you'll get the same answer. Right? The 2 into 6, that'll give you 3. 3 into 6, that'll give you the 2 there. Then when you bring across that, you'll get the 6. So you'll get the same answer. Kish, what are you doing? Kish, no one know what you're saying now. Yeah. Every class. How are you ahead of me? How are you figure out what I'm going to do next? Right? All right, so in 1993, Alice and Ben had a problem. Let's see if we can solve the problem. You know what tape is? What's that tape? No, like long ago, we used to record songs on a cassette tape. So that's what I meant. Go ahead. So there's a worded problem now. You have to read. Right? So you have T tapes, Ben has 10 tapes more than Alice. Figure out part 1, 2, and 3. So you have to create 2 equations, or technically 1 equation, and then solve. Message what you think T is. Run all for you. All yours. Oh yeah, give me 2. You get 1 done. Oh yeah. Run all yours for you. And it's X. It's closing bottom line. So, 10, 17, right? I have set it up and solve the T. The part one is what? The part one.
Next is. Like the past. Like part two.
Any answers online? Right, so most people have the first one. Most people have the first part, right? Applying B for Ben, right? They ask how many the number of tapes Ben has. So Ben has 10 tapes plus T. Right? Alice has T and Ben has 10 more tapes. So 10 plus T. That's part one. Alice now gives Ben 14 of her tapes. Ben now has twice as many tapes as Alice now has. And figure out how to write that. And then you can understand the T. One in Jamal. Good question. Make a note that we talk about. No, I think. Right, how we writing this now? Alice gives, so remember Alice has T, right? So remember Alice and then Ben. Alice has T and then Ben has T plus 10. So Alice gives Ben 14 of her tapes. Okay, so how much Alice has now? T minus 14. How much Ben has now? T plus how much? 24, right? T plus 24, right? Ben has T plus 24. But what they said about that? Ben now has twice as many as Alice. That's okay? So therefore, Ben has T plus 24, which is 2 times what Alice has. Alice has T minus 14. So that would be T plus 24 is equal to 2T minus 2 by 14, which is 28. You'll see that? So now bring all the T's together. I'll get T minus 2T is minus 28 minus 24 minus T is equal to minus, how much is that, 52? I got T to be 52T. Right? So the wording was kind of tricky, but here's what I want you to see, right? We know what Alice had in the beginning and what Ben had in the beginning, right? Then Alice gave away 14 of her tapes. So it means Alice now has T minus 14 and Ben has T plus 24 because you add 14 on to the 10, right? And then they told us that Ben now has twice as many. So it means that this total here, T plus 24, is twice as many as what Alice had. So we took T plus 24 and multiplied by T minus 20. Sorry, T minus 40. And you work it out. I find out what's hard. You wouldn't. Yeah, you would. All tricky. I should just squeeze in one more. If you just squeeze in one. '96. That one easier. Try 1996. This one a little bit easier. Vishish. Do one question, boy. Everything is copying down, work it out first. Yeah, the classic come on, sit down here. Really, I call it by the way. Take away Jamal phone, call Vishish. I think you probably draw a little rectangle. That way is lesser, by the way. What's your width? Vishish, how to write it width? W is what? The width of the lawn is 3 meters less than half its length. By writing that. All right, what take away 3? Huh? It said less than half its length. How would it be? Well, L over 2. L over 2 Vishish. What one turns up? Right? So they said that the width of the rectangular lawn is 3 meters less than half the length. Okay? 3 meters less. Oh yeah. Was it perimeter, Samir? How you find perimeter? Perimeter. Add up all the sides, right? Hurry up, do that fast. And you should get part 1. And then solve the part 2. Hurry up. How you find perimeter? Unique. Perimeter is what? Okay, length of multiplied by 2. So 2 width plus 2 length is equal to 42. So what do I do to make it look like this? Abby, what do I do to make it look like that? W plus L is 21. So something easier than that. 2W plus 2L is 42. Come here, what to do? No, how to go from 2W plus 2L is 42 to W plus L is 21. Divide by what? 2. So divide everything by 2 and you will get W plus L is 21. That's okay? Jamal, how? Huh? Who's that? No, Jamal. Jamal, write an equation. Write an equation for the width in terms of length. What are you talking about there? Width in terms of length. What you have to do? Huh? Say it over again. Write an equation for width in terms of length. So the one W is what? Right here, I wrote it already. W is L over 2 minus 3. Okay? And then substitute W in here and you're done. You'll get L over 2 minus 3 plus L is 21. What do I do to solve this now? Ethan, what I just solve this now? Huh? Factorize L. All right. Well, you can bring all the L's together. 21 minus 3 becomes 21 plus 3. This is 3L on 2 is equal to 24. Cross multiply, you'll get 3L is 48. And then solve it. L is 48 divided by 3, which is 6. Okay? Already the same thing we do for the whole class. Huh? I understand the word and think of real trick, right? But we gotta get used to that, right? Practicing the word question. Right. Ethan, do you remember doing construction with me and transformations?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So we have one more small thing to do in trigonometry before we do anything else. Before I start on page 5, right? Right, organize your topics. Like every time we have to revise by the form, right? Okay. Organize your topics, right? All right, online. That's it there.